Yes. Okay. I'll quickly revise, okay, what we have done in the last class. Then we can continue. Okay, so if you remember, we were doing the three-dimensional structure using 2D hexagonal close packing, correct? So we were placing the second layer. You have seen by placing the second layer, and then on the second layer, we have placed the third layer also, okay, which gives you the three-dimensional structure. So let's start with that first. If you take the base as a hexagonal, so here you can see when you place a hexagonal, you can see the empty space which is created, okay, that red one and the green ones. So you can place only on the red or you can place it on the green, only on alternate spaces which are available here. Only in that space you can place the spheres, okay. You can't place them one after the other because you will not get enough of place over there that you have seen, okay. So either we can place it on the red one or we can place, instead of red one, we can place it on the green, okay. So when you place that second layer over the first one, okay, when you place this atom over this one, you can see a space which is created, okay. That empty space which is created, it has a one particular geometry, okay. So then when you place this one over here, okay, joining these four atoms, that space which is created, it looks like a tetrahedral. So it is called as tetrahedral void, okay. And then when all these atoms are placed, now see here, when I place all these atoms, one over here and then two on this side and then three on the other side, okay. So that time if you see now, another kind of void is also created, okay. You see these three atoms, okay, these three atoms which are there, and then the down one, base one, the yellow ones are there, no, and then you see the red ones which I've drawn upon that, okay. So you can see that red ones, I've joined it together now. So when you see these three base atom and the three top ones, okay, you get another kind of void. That red color ones is one kind of void and the green color one is one kind of void, okay. So that red ones which are formed just now, they are having a octahedral shape, so it is called as octahedral void, okay, correct. So after when you place this second layer, okay, one kind of void what you get here, A marked ones, they are tetrahedral void. Okay, and the other kind what you get, the D ones, okay, because of the six atoms joined together, they are octahedral void. Okay, because the shape is like that. So this we have discussed, okay, three atoms below and one atom on top of that, tetrahedral. And then when you take six atom together, you can place it like this. For octahedral, I said three atoms you can place below, and above that you can place three atoms, okay, in the opposite manner, okay. So like once you place the triangle in this fashion and then you tilt the triangle and keep on top of that, so you'll get octahedral. One more type I told you, how can you get octahedral? You can place four atoms in one plane and one atom above that and one atom below this, okay. So this is also one more way of placing the atoms. Again, you are having six atom itself, which gives you the shape of octahedral. So it's again called as octahedral void, okay. And then coming to placing the third layer. So when you place the third layer over the second layer, okay. So in the second layer, you have got two types of void. One is octahedral and the other one is tetrahedral. So when you place now here, when you place in this D space, you are covering the octahedral void. When you place it on the C1, okay, the C1 is the tetrahedral kind, no? So you are covering the tetrahedral void. So when you cover this up, there are two kind of unit cells which are created, okay. So that you have seen when I cover this D place, you are covering the octahedral void, okay. And this D, after covering this blue color atom which I have placed over here, okay, it doesn't have any alignment with either the A1, neither it has an alignment with the B1, okay. It has a different arrangement. So this type of arrangement is ABC kind of arrangement, okay. So when you place the third layer on the second one, you get ABC. Now when you do the same thing over here, okay, on this side, when you cover the C space, you are covering the tetrahedral void. So when you cover the tetrahedral void, if you see properly, you are placing the atom exactly above the first one, Okay, so it will have alignment with the first layer. So this kind of arrangement will be AB and AB type of arrangement. Okay, so when you cover this octahedral, you are covering the octahedral void, and the third layer which you have placed doesn't have any alignment with the first one. Okay, so it's the different kind of arrangement. But the fourth one which you are going to place, they will have alignment. So this is ABC and ABC kind of arrangement. And this kind of arrangement, okay, which gives you the lattice, it is also called as cubic close packed structure. Okay, so it is cubic close packing lattice, also called as FCC. Remember, because FCC and cubic close packing has a similar unit cell. The arrangements are similar. Okay, so either you can call them as FCC or you can call them as cubic close packing. Now when you cover the tetrahedral void, okay, you are placing the third layer on the second one. So that time you see that the third layer is exactly in alignment with the first one. Okay, and this kind of arrangement, what you get here, that's a hexagonal close packed arrangement. Okay, HCP, hexagonal close packing you are having. So then afterwards, we have seen what is the coordination number for these hexagonal as well as for cubic. Okay, so the first arrangement which I have taken, it is ABC. Okay, that is CCP1. So you can see here the atoms over here. Okay, so we will locate the atom. I have taken this as the center. So if this is the A1, above this you will have B1. This arrangement will be there above this. Okay, this green color arrangement will be exactly present above this A1 like this. Okay, these green ones will be exactly touching that center one. So when you count the number of atoms touching this center sphere, okay, you will get one here, second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, which are there on the plane. Okay, this is on the plane. Then above that you have three green color atoms. Okay, so that will be 7, 8 and then 9. And exactly below this, these three atoms are touching them. Okay, so that will be 10, 11 and then 12. So you can see here coordination number comes out as 12. Same thing you will be able to see for HCP also. This is HCP unit cell. Okay, you can see here hexagonal unit cell. If you want, I'll just draw and show you this. See, if I join it together, if I join this line, the unit cell shape is like a hexagon, like this. Okay, this one. Then again I have below hexagon. So if you join this together, that unit cell shape will be like a hexagonal. You have studied about that crystal system, no? Hexagonal crystal system where the whole unit cell shape is like a hexagon. Okay, so you'll get a hexagonal arrangement. Even here, if I locate this as a center atom, you can see here one. I'll erase all this. Okay, just see the number of atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is on the plane. Then again, like this, green color atoms are repeating above this. Okay, above this one, you will have again green color atom. So 1, 2, 3 will be exactly touching them. Okay, remember. So here 6 are over. This will be 7th one, 8th one and 9th one. Below that you are having this 10, 11 and then 12. Okay, so that is hexagonal close packing. Till here we have done. So coordination number you get for both of them as 12. I hope this was clear, students. Whatever I've done, you have to revise now. Okay. So whatever topics have been done, it's your duty that after the class is over, you revise. Only then it will remain in your head. Okay, now I've shown here. Again, I have shown the same thing, hexagonal close packing. You can see here. This is how it gets stacked one above the other and you get a hexagonal kind of a unit cell. So it is called as HCP. Okay. And if you want to see for CCP, this is how CCP lattice are. Okay. If you tilt that, okay, this is A, B, C, again A, B, C will get repeated. Okay, A, B, C and A, B, C kind of arrangement gets repeated. If you tilt that, okay, and then see, it will look like a cube. You can see here, this the third picture I've shown. So if you tilt it and keep, it will look like that cubic unit cell. So it is called as CCP. Okay, and it is similar to FCC also. You can see one face-centered atom. Everywhere face-centered atoms are also there, and at corner you can see 8 atoms. Okay, so it is also named as FCC. So till here I have done in last class. Now I am continuing. from today's. Okay. Now, when you place this three-dimensional, when you place this atom and get the three-dimensional arrangement, there is one more kind of unit cell which is created. Okay. So that is, now see here, if I take this four atoms, this I'm taking HCP so that it's clear. If I take these four atoms and then these four atoms, okay, this atom which is there, no, over here, you can see this one will come exactly at the center. So 4 atom below and 4 atom above and one comes in the center. What type of unit cell is this? If you have 4 below and you have 4 above and one you have in the center, what kind of unit cell is this? I want you all to answer. See, this is how it will look. So there is one more kind of unit cell which is created. Okay, 4 down, 4 above and 1 in the center. Yes, very good. Correct. Body-centered unit cell. Okay, so there is another body-centered unit cell also, which comes when you do this three-dimensional close packing. Okay, so you have to just remember what is a coordination number for this. So for body-centered unit cell, this is the whole lattice picture of body-centered unit cell. Center atom will be there, and then you have 4 atoms above and 4 atoms below. So what will be the coordination number, students? Very good. Many have answered it's body centered, correct. And okay, now tell me what will be the coordination number for this. Can you tell me for this center atom? Take this center atom. How many atoms they are having neighboring, touching them? Yeah, good, correct. Yes. Eight, correct. No, very good. Okay. So you can see if I take this blue one as the center, okay, exactly they are having 1, 2, 3, 4. This is above. Okay, 4 is above and below you are having again 4. Okay, so this will be 5. Behind one is 6. Then I have 7 and then 8. So coordination number for this body centered is also 8. Okay, so you can just make a note. You write down below as note and write for body centered close packing, the coordination number is 8. Okay, now having this idea, let's go for doing the calculation. Okay, like you have to remember this now. This formula you need to remember. How many voids are exactly present in one of the unit cell? Okay, so I will take one example and make you understand. Then you can remember generally how to calculate that. Okay, so let's see how many voids exactly will be present in one unit cell. So I have taken this unit cell. Can you tell me which unit cell is this? Which unit cell is this? Is it simple FCC or BCC? Yes. Everyone, tell me what unit cell is this? FCC. Everyone agrees, no? This is FCC. Very good. FCC because you can see here 4 atoms are above and then you have 4 atoms below and on the faces you can see an atom. Okay. Now when you have this arrangement, see how many voids are exactly present. Okay. How many voids are there? Now if you take this, I will take another color. See here. If I take this phase atoms, okay, you can see these are the atoms which are on the face. 1, 2, 3. Then I have 4th one here. Okay. Then 5th one above. And 6th one is below. So you know that if 6 atoms join together, the void which is created, the void what you get is, it is called as octahedral void, correct? No? So here that space is created, okay? They have joined the line, you can see properly here. They have joined that together, okay? And then that space which is formed over here, that's the octahedral. You remember there is no empty space like this, okay? There are no lines. Atoms are exactly touching each other. So these 6 atoms are exactly touching each other and this void is created here. Okay, this void which is created, that is octahedral void. So you in one, okay, one full octahedral void is created in one FCC. But then side also they can be created. You can see here, this side, okay. I will take on this side. Above I am taking. Okay, see here, on the edge also you can create. Total you require 6 atoms for creating this. So now I have here 1, this one I have here, 2 I have here, okay. This I will take as 3. Okay, this I will take as 3. So I need another atom on this side. Correct, no? On this side I need another atom and this atom, and above this I need one more atom. Correct? So if I join this together like this, see here, if I join it together, then one void will be created this way. Agree? Okay, you can see now properly. This void will be created here. Okay, so that is created where? On the edge. Okay, but now that void which is created, is it because of one whole unit cell? No, right? I have made use of another unit cell. Neighboring unit cell also I have made use. So how many unit cell, how many neighboring unit cell is required to create this octahedral void? One unit cell, the red ones you can see which I have drawn here, that unit cell is there. Okay. Then I need another one also this side which I have to utilize for this atom. Okay. I will tick mark this. So if I have to get this atom, I have to make use of that neighboring unit cell. Correct, no? So this one I require. So second one will be here. And above that there will be one more. Correct, no? Because this atom will be on the face of 2 unit cell. Agree? Above this I will have another unit cell also. So that will be the third one. And then this will be the fourth one. So how much will be this octahedral void's contribution to this unit cell? Can you tell me then? I will repeat once again, students. Okay, listen properly. One void which is created is solely because of these 6 atoms which are joined together. Okay, which I have marked here, center one. Okay, if you want, I'll take another color. See this one. One void I have got over here. I have numbered this as 1. This one void I have got because of 6 atoms touching each other. Okay. So that is belonging to this FCC atom. Now, if you want to create another octahedral void, this you cannot get just by this unit cell. You have to make use of another unit cell also. So to make a octahedral void, you require 6 atom. Okay, so I have taken this above one. See now here, this one. 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These 6 atoms can join together. This is the 6th one. This is the 6th one. Okay, so these 6 atoms can join together to give you this octahedral void. This I have circled here. Okay, this octahedral void. Now, if this octahedral void has to be formed, how many unit cell they have utilized here is my question. How many unit cell they have utilized to form this octahedral void? See properly. One is this unit cell. Okay, I will number with the black color. See, one unit cell is this. 1. Next to that, I have second one, this one, immediate neighboring, because if I want this atom, I need the another one unit cell. Second one, but then this atom is shared, no? It is shared by how many? 2 unit cell. That means above this, I have third one. And next to that, I have fourth one here. Getting? So, this octahedral void which is created, its contribution to this one unit cell will be how much? If they are shared between 4 unit cell. This is like how you do the calculation for number of atoms. Now this octahedral void which is created on the edge, you can see it is created on the edge. It is shared by 4 unit cell. So its contribution to 1 unit cell will be how much is my question. Yeah, 1/4. Okay, see one void which is created if they are shared between 4 unit cell. I am asking 1 unit cell contribution will be how much? 1/4 of it, correct? No, so yeah, 1/4. So this will be 1/4. So like that, how many? This is on the edge. You can see here properly. This void is created on the edge. Now, how many edges we have for face-centered atom or for a cubic unit cell? How many edges do we have? If you have a cube, calculate how many edges they have. 4 we are having above. Okay, 4 edges we see here. One is this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then below we have 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges we are having. Okay. So if you want to create octahedral void, only 1/4 of its contribution will come from the edge. So like that we have 12. So 12 into 1/4. Okay, 12 edges are there. No, so in all the 12 edges, you will get 1/4 of its octahedral void. Okay, so 12 into 1/4 will give you 3. And one full you can see here, which is being formed. So total how many octahedral void is formed for face centered? Together it is 4. Okay, so together the total number of octahedral void which is formed is 4. Okay, and you know the number of atoms which we have for face centered atom, that is also 4. Okay, so you have to remember that how many number of atoms are present for the unit cell, so many number of octahedral voids will be formed. Okay, you can just remember that. Okay, now see, this is another way of portraying it. I have seen shown here. You can see that green one which is formed, that's solely belonging to this unit cell. So this is one octahedral void. Okay, another one which is being formed, you can see that gray marked one, this one is the other one. Okay, but then this one which is formed, okay, that's because of contribution of 4 unit cell. Okay, it's not only because of 1 unit cell. So I have 1 unit cell, this one, then neighbor to that you need this atom, so you have another one, second one, above that you have third one, and neighboring to this you have fourth one. Okay, so it will utilize 4 atoms to give you this octahedral void. Okay, so its contribution will be only 1/4. Like that you have 12 edges, so 12 into 1/4 plus 1 full octahedral void. Okay, so total you will get 4. So remember, for face center, total number of octahedral void which is formed is 4. Okay, now come to tetrahedral. Tetrahedral voids are formed due to joining 4 atoms together. Okay, so you can see here 1, 2, 3, and then this is the fourth one. Okay, so when these 4 atoms join together, you can see tetrahedral void is being formed. So this is in the front side. Okay, like that only you will have another neighbor also. See this 1, 2, this you take as 3, this is third one. Okay, and then this is the fourth one. Okay, so these will join together, again you will get one tetrahedral. Like that only you will get one more behind. Okay, so this is 1, 2, then 3, 4. Okay, 2 are front and 2 are behind. 2 are front here and 2 are behind. So you can see here 4 are formed. Like that only above also. Okay, these 4 atoms will touch together. So you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so how many total tetrahedral voids are formed? 8. Okay, so you have to see this picture and understand. This is the face-centered atom which I have taken. Face-centered cubic unit cell it is. Okay, so if you see the number of atoms touching each other, okay, so when 4 atoms touch each other, you will get a tetrahedral void. Okay, so you can just remember this picture. If you want, I have made it a little more simple. This tetrahedral voids are there. No, that's like the small unit cell which is getting repeated. See here, like this. You can see here, these are the 4 atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4 atoms. When they join together, they give you this tetrahedral shape. So if you divide that whole face-centered atom, no, this is how it will look like. That small tetrahedral unit cell you can see. Okay, so like that 8 are being formed. So in one face-centered unit cell, you will get 8 tetrahedral void. Okay, so if I have to conclude on the whole, for the face-centered atom, remember, for the face-centered atom, number of atoms what you have got is 4. And the number of octahedral void which is formed, that's also 4. Okay, and the number of tetrahedral void which will be formed, that is 8. Okay, so if you have 4 number of atoms, 4 octahedral and 8 tetrahedral. So if I have to generalize this, if I have n number of atoms for a closed packed sphere, n number of octahedral void will be formed, and 2n, double of that tetrahedral voids will be formed. Okay, so remember, this is the general way of representing. I just took an example, okay, for you to just understand. So you can write this down as a note, students. If the number of closed packed sphere is n, the number of octahedral void generated is also n. Okay, they will also be n, and the number of tetrahedral void generated will be 2n. Okay, I am giving you an example. If I give you body-centered BCC unit cell, can you tell me for this BCC unit cell, how many octahedral void we will get and how many tetrahedral void we will get. Use this formula and tell me. See how many number of atoms. Number of atoms in BCC is how many? Yeah, 2, no? 2 atoms, no? Full contribution of that atom. You have calculated that, correct? Yes, yeah, 2. 2 is the correct answer, okay? See, the number of atoms which we get for BCC. We are not talking about coordination number here. We are talking about number of atoms for that one unit cell. So number of atoms for BCC is 2. So that means the number of octahedral void generated also will be 2. Yes. And number of tetrahedral void generated will be double of that. That means it should be 4. Understood? Okay, now same thing if I ask you for FCC. For FCC, how much is the number of atom? For FCC, number of atoms are, for FCC, number of atoms are 4. Okay. So the number of octahedral void generated is also 4. And the number of tetrahedral you will be getting, that will be double of that. That will be 8. Okay. This is what I explained you with the figure there. I don't know how much you were able to understand this, okay, which I showed you. So like that we have to calculate. So generally we have this formula. So we will not mention about the number of atoms. This I just gave you as an example. Okay, in case if they ask you an exam, you should be knowing how to calculate it. Okay, now we will directly go for the problems. You can directly take them as n. Okay, we will take that as n and then calculate. They will ask you to calculate the formula using this particular concept. Okay, so we will directly go for that. We'll work out problem. These problems are also important, students. You write down first question now. Yes, we'll work out this problem. Now see how to solve this. Yeah, you might have written the question, no? Okay, let's see how to work out this. Read this problem properly. A compound is formed by 2 elements, X and Y. Okay, these X and Y are combining together to form a compound. Okay. Now atoms of element Y, which is the anion part, that is making the CCP lattice. Okay. And those of the element X, they are occupying the octahedral void. So they are asking you what is the formula of the compound. So basically what actually you have to do is you need to take the ratio. Okay. You need to find how many atoms are there which are X kind of atom and how many Y atoms are there, and then you take the ratio of that, you will get the formula of that particular compound. Okay. So now see, to do this problem, first thing what you will do is, you will identify the lattice. Okay. You will find that unit cell which is making this, because depending on that number, you will be understanding how many octahedral void you will get and how many tetrahedral. Correct? No? Then you have to take the ratio of both. Okay, understanding? I will repeat this. First thing what you have to do is identify the unit cell. Okay, so now here which is a unit cell? This one, no, CCP is a unit cell. So you will write down this first. Okay, so we will assume that let the number of atoms Y involved in CCP is equal to N. Okay, because we take that as N number of atom. If that is N, the number of octahedral void is equal to how much? They are saying the X atoms will be occupied in octahedral void. So if I am taking CCP, okay, where Y atoms are occupying the CCP lattice, that we are taking as N. How many octahedral void we are having if this is N? Same, no? The number of octahedral void is equal to N. So this, given that all the octahedral voids are occupied by X, which is also is equal to N itself. Okay, this value also will be equal to N because both the numbers are same. How many number of atoms you have for the unit cell, same number of atoms you get for the octahedral. Okay, so now here only these two things are given to us. So we know that the number of atoms, that Y atoms are occupying the CCP lattice, so that I am taking as N. Okay, and the number of octahedral void always is equal to N. This you can eliminate. Okay, you can directly write this one. So given that octahedral voids are occupied by X, so that is equal to N. So done, no? So that means X and Y ratio will be how much? So the ratio of X and Y, X value is N, okay, and Y value is also N. So N raised to N is 1:1 ratio, correct, no? Yes, 1:1 ratio. That means how many number of X atom we have, so many number of Y atoms we are having. So that itself is a formula, okay? So formula of the compound is X, Y. For one X atom, there is one Y atom. Understood how to work out? If you want, I'll repeat this once again. When you have to work out this kind of problem, your first job is to locate the unit cell. Find out the unit cell, okay? So here, CCP is a unit cell, okay? And this CCP lattice is occupied by whom? Y atom. So that you will take as N, okay? So the number of atoms of Y involved in CCP, you take as N, okay? And next question, what they have told you, that the X atoms which are there, that is occupying the octahedral void. So you know that if number of atoms for CCP is N, then octahedral void also will be equal to N. So we say that all the octahedral which is occupied by X, that is also equal to N. Now take the ratio. So therefore, X is to Y ratio will be N is to N. That is 1:1. Okay. So the compound formula will be X, Y. Okay. For one X atom, we will have one Y atom. Yes. Now write down this answer. Yes. Now write down the second one. Write down this. Yes. Let's work out this problem now. So read the problem properly. A compound is formed by two elements, X and Y. Atoms of the element Y atoms, which are the anions, they are making CCP lattice. Okay. And those of the element X which are there, which are cations, they are occupying the tetrahedral void. Okay. So they are making the tetrahedral void now. That time what we had was octahedral void. So now they are asking what is the formula of this compound. Okay. So how will you proceed with the problem? First thing I told you, you identify the lattice, because depending on that number, you can write how many tetrahedral and how many octahedral voids are there. Correct. So now here, who is making the lattice? CCP lattice is made by the Y anions. Okay. So that number you are going to take as X. So we can start saying that let the number of atoms, that is Y involved in CCP, that let it be equal to N. Correct. Okay. Now they are saying that X atoms which are there, they are occupying the tetrahedral void. And you know, if you have N number of atoms for the unit cell, how many tetrahedral voids we will have? So given that all the tetrahedral void will be equal to 2N. Yes. So now you take the ratio of X and Y. You can write cation first followed by the anion, because that is how the usual IUPAC nomenclature is, no? Cation followed by the anion. So you can write the X part first because they are the cation, followed by the Y one. Okay, they are the anion. So you take the ratio now. Yes, very good. Many have got the answer. You have given the answer. So ratio of X is to Y will be X value is 2 and Y value is N. Okay, so we can write 2N is to N. So if you take the ratio of this, you will get 2:1. So that means how many X atom we are having? 2. And how many Y atoms we are having? 1. Okay. So you can write formula is X2Y. Okay. Write like this. How you write usually the formula of the compound, or like that you will write 2X atom. So that means X2Y. Okay. This will be the formula. Okay. 2X atoms are there. So X2Y.